Have you ever looked at a simple block of cement and thought, this could be something more? Not just a planter, not just a seat, but a light, a centerpiece, maybe even a story waiting to be built with your own hands. Welcome to Home and Garden Borneo, where ideas bloom from the ordinary. In today's video, we're diving into very cool cement ideas, creative, handmade garden decorations that combine flower pots, aquariums, tables, and chairs, all in one breathtaking design. Timestamps are included so you can jump to the part you need. And if there's any project you'd love to recreate, let me know in the comments. I'll share a DIY tutorial just for you in the community tab. To some, this might just be another garden video, but behind this voice, there's a real home, a family that dreams through each upload, a heart that beats with every view and click. When you subscribe, you're not just supporting a channel, you're helping a story continue, one built with concrete, light, and love. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for seeing the hands behind the screen. One, cement aquarium planter design. There's something quietly magical about creating with your own hands, especially when what you build doesn't just sit still but comes to life. In a quiet garden, where leaves sway with the breeze and the world feels just a little slower, this project begins. A cement aquarium planter, molded not just from concrete, but from patience, purpose, and imagination. The process starts not in a factory, but in your own backyard. A simple wooden mold, lovingly assembled, becomes the vessel of transformation. With gloved hands and a steady rhythm, wet cement is poured, shaped, and smoothed, an echo of craftsmanship that's as old as time. There's no rush here, only the meditative flow of doing something real. You don't need a studio or expensive gear, just the will to create and a few buckets by your side. And when it sets, the possibilities unfold. Placed on a rustic pedestal of stone, the aquarium planter becomes a feature in your garden story. Clear water glimmers under the afternoon sun, revealing tiny fish that swim slowly among aquatic plants. The cement, textured and untouched by polish, feels grounded, solid, and beautiful in its rawness. It's not flashy, but that's the charm. It belongs right where it is, among the greenery and stillness. As evening falls, imagine lighting the space with soft string lights under a wooden pergola. The cement base now glows from within, thanks to discreet LED lights, turning the planter into a quiet spectacle of motion and calm. Fish glide beneath the surface like painted whispers, while the garden hums with night sounds. What you see here is not a design born of perfection. It's an idea crafted with care and simplicity. You don't need to be a professional builder. These scenes are meant to inspire and reflect what anyone can try with a little time and heart. The visuals shared in this project are simply inspirational blueprints, realistic and achievable for those who wish to create something special at home. Whether you mold your own version or adapt the idea to your space, the joy lies in the doing. In watching something grow not just from soil, but from cement and dreams. artistic cement flower pot ideas. Sometimes, creativity begins not with a grand blueprint, but with your hands dipped in a bucket of cement, a silicone mold, and a quiet afternoon that feels all your own. In this serene workshop scene, we witness something truly beautiful, the birth of form through fingertips. A sunflower-shaped mold cradles wet cement, pressed gently into every curve. There's no machine here, just presence. The table is speckled with splashes, garden gloves lie like leaves fallen after a storm, and the air smells faintly of stone and soil. It's not polished, it's real, and it's deeply satisfying. Fast forward to a sunlit porch, where the results of these gentle efforts now live and breathe with personality. Each handmade pot tells its own story, a serene face in quiet meditation, a shell echoing coastal dreams, a geometric sculpture sharp with elegance. Filled with succulents, ferns, or herbs, they become more than planters. They become companions in a living space. The way the light dances across the cement texture is something no factory can replicate. You don't need special tools to create this. You don't need to be an expert sculptor. What you need is patience, intention, and maybe a little courage to experiment. All the visuals you see here are based on ideas that anyone, with a weekend and a bit of curiosity, can bring to life. These designs aren't fantasies, they're invitations to create. As we move along a rustic garden path, the rhythm of beauty continues. Round and square cement pots line the gravel like notes on a musical scale. Each one bursts with the color of life: marigolds, petunias, zinnias, flowers growing from the soil of your own making. The pots aren't perfect, and that's the charm. They're slightly uneven surfaces, soft pastel stains, and hand-pressed forms feel deeply human. Please remember, what we're showing here is not a product pitch. This is a visual journal of ideas. Simple, soulful, and honest. You are not expected to replicate every detail, but perhaps you'll be inspired to shape something of your own. That's the hope behind this journey, to spark a light of creativity that feels completely doable in your own corner of the world. And as the sun falls over these handmade pots, casting long shadows that stretch like memories, may you feel encouraged, because with cement, time, and heart, beauty can bloom from the most unexpected of places. Three, DIY cement garden chair design. In the heart of a backyard kissed by morning light, a simple idea begins to take shape. A wooden frame, raw and imperfect, stands tall on a patch of green grass. It doesn't look like much, just pallets, buckets, and a trowel. But what lies ahead is transformation. Cement, poured and smoothed with care, settles into its mold like a quiet promise. There's no drama here, no fast-forward montage. Just honest labor beneath the sun, where shadows fall long and time slows down. This is the start of a chair, not store-bought, not made in a factory, but built with two hands and intention. And once complete, it finds its place in the garden like it's always belonged. Solid, cool to the touch, yet softened by sunlight and setting. A handmade cement chair sits next to a wooden table, the kind that's always waiting for a morning coffee or a book left open. Its edges are slightly rounded, its surface textured with gentle imperfections. That's the beauty of DIY. It's never meant to be flawless, only meaningful. You may think this is complex, but it's more accessible than it appears. The visuals shared here aren't high-end renderings. They're grounded, relatable, and real. This video isn't a tutorial. It's an invitation, an encouragement that you, too, can mold your own little piece of comfort. And in another corner of the garden, the story stretches wider. A corner lounge wrapped in cement seating invites rest under string lights and climbing green walls. Cushions bring color, planters add life, and the entire setting breathes tranquility. It's not about replicating this space detail by detail, but about being inspired to shape your own version of it. One that suits your garden, your hands, your dreams. What you're seeing here is not presented as perfection. It's presented as possibility. A set of ideas that are not only beautiful but genuinely possible to try at home. This content is meant purely as an inspirational guide, based on DIY concepts that are practical and achievable if you wish to explore them. So if you ever find yourself yearning for a peaceful place to sit, somewhere grounded, handmade, and undeniably yours, perhaps a bag of cement and a weekend in the sun is all you'll need. Four, cement garden table and chair combo. Every outdoor gathering begins with a place to sit, and sometimes the most meaningful spaces are those we build ourselves. Here, beneath the bright morning sun, the rhythm of creation unfolds. In a garden not far from ordinary, hands move with purpose. A cement table begins to rise, its base heavy with strength, its top smooth and patient, waiting for conversation. Around it, for blocky chairs stand like silent friends. Tools are scattered like footprints of progress. A level, a pair of gloves, a wheelbarrow still half full. Nothing is perfect yet, but everything is in motion. This isn't a catalog scene. It's a moment captured mid-creation. And that's what makes it beautiful. Once finished, the space transforms. A round cement table now stands at the center of a soft stone patio. Chairs, minimal in form but full of presence, surround it like a sculpture. A glass vase with fresh daisies sits in the middle, flanked by simple mugs ready to be filled. Around the scene, flowering hedges and gentle sunlight remind us that comfort doesn't need to be bought. It can be built. The images here are shared only to spark ideas, possibilities that are entirely feasible with effort and time. They are not renderings of unreachable design, but glimpses of what real hands can shape. And then comes the golden hour. In a quiet corner embraced by flowering bushes, a cement table stretches between two benches. The light is low, amber, soft like honey. A teapot and cups rest quietly, catching the final rays of the day. It feels like peace, like something made not just for sitting, but for pausing, for remembering, for simply being. This is the essence of the project, not to impress, but to inspire. You don't need a studio, or expensive molds, or even perfection. What you need is willingness, to mix, to mold, to wait, and to create something that can stay with you for years to come. All the content shown here is intended as gentle encouragement, not instruction. They're designs rooted in reality, shared so that you might adapt them into your own corner of the world. In the end, it's not just about cement. It's about making space for moments and shaping them with your own two hands. 5. All-in-one cement garden furniture design. In a quiet garden corner where vines wrap gently around old fences and sunlight filters softly through morning clouds, something beautifully grounded takes shape, not through flash or grandeur, but through purpose. Here stands a bench, simple and solid, made of cement, but softened by the green that spills from its corners, herbs, trailing vines, and tiny blossoms. It's not just a place to sit. It's a place to rest tools, tuck away gloves, or cradle a potted lavender. And perhaps that's the most magical part. This multifunctional bench isn't just furniture, it's part of the garden itself. Blending in, giving back, staying still. None of this is overly complex. In fact, the images shown are meant to spark your curiosity, not intimidate you. These are achievable projects, made with things you likely already have: wooden molds, cement mix, time, and care. They're shared here to gently remind you, you can absolutely make this. And as the sun slips lower, the story glows brighter. A U-shaped lounge now fills the space, built entirely from cement, yet anything but cold. Soft uplighting peeks out from beneath the bench, glowing amber against the pavers and warming the garden. At its heart, a simple wooden table, perfect for tea and laughter under stars. Planters bloom from every corner: lavender, oregano, trailing ivy, all integrated into the design, blurring the line between structure and soil. What makes this space special isn't just the shape or strength of the build, it's how it holds the life around it. It holds moments, conversations, stillness. And then, in another corner of green, a square table stands firm, surrounded by flower-wrapped benches and playful stools. The cement is smooth, the lines are clean, and the colors of petunias and pansies burst from planters tucked neatly into the design. On the table, a simple bowl of fruit reflects the sunlight. It feels fresh, bright, joyful. Please know, this isn't a blueprint you must follow. It's a possibility, a reminder that beauty doesn't always come from buying. It can come from building, from doing. These visual ideas are shared to inspire your own version of comfort, made not with perfection, but with care. So whether you're looking to create a gathering place, a quiet seat, or a space to grow, cement offers more than structure. It offers presence. And with a little imagination, it might just become the heart of your garden. Six, upcycled bottle mold cement planters. Every great creation begins with something simple. In this case, it's a plastic bottle. On a weathered garden table, cut bottles sit in a row, quietly waiting. Each one, once destined for the trash, now cradles a fresh pour of wet cement. Gloves rest nearby. Scissors lie open. The morning sun casts soft shadows as the mix settles in, cool, gray, and full of promise. It's messy, yes, but beautiful too. This is the heartbeat of DIY, not the polished finish, but the process itself. And when the molds are peeled away, the transformation is quietly stunning. On a rustic wooden step or bench, a series of handmade cement planters now stand proudly. Their bases still hint at their original shapes, curved, ribbed, indented like soda bottles, but the context is changed. They've been reborn into something lasting, into homes for succulents, mint, basil, Some are textured, others smooth. None are perfect. And that's what makes them feel alive. These aren't mass-produced pieces from a factory floor. They're projects built by hand, outdoors, with time, care, and maybe a bit of trial and error. This video isn't a tutorial in the strictest sense. It's an invitation. A showcase of ideas that are not only possible, but realistic for anyone with the desire to try. The scene shifts. Now, a porch becomes the gallery. 5 planters, each mold from reused bottles, line the steps in peaceful symmetry. Inside, cheerful flowers like marigolds and zinnias brighten the view. Look closely and you'll see it. The faint swirl from a bottle's base, the subtle seam along the edge. These marks are not flaws. They're signatures of creativity. Marks of something made, not bought. This kind of project doesn't demand perfection. It simply asks for a little space, a little sunlight, and a willingness to create. The visuals here are shared only to provide inspiration. They reflect what's possible in the real world, with basic tools, recycled materials, and a quiet afternoon to spare. In a time when convenience often overshadows craftsmanship, these planters bring us back to something slower, something simpler. A reminder that beauty can come from bottles, that gardens can bloom from concrete, and that even the most ordinary objects can become extraordinary, with heart, with hands, and with purpose. Seven decorative cement shapes, fish and leaf ideas. Herb Scene 1. The art of upcycled bottle cement planters. In the quiet company of a garden fence and a wooden shelf, 5 little planters stand proud, each one shaped from a once-forgotten plastic bottle. They are humble, yet beautifully grounded in texture. Some hold mint and basil, their fragrance dancing on the breeze. Others cradle resilient succulents, nestled in the earthy hue of terracotta-toned cement. These planters are born from simplicity, cast from everyday soda bottles, but reimagined through thoughtful hands. Out on the porch steps, another row of gray-toned planters greets the afternoon sun. Marigolds bloom like golden stars, and a single zinnia stretches elegantly, reminding us that even the smallest pots can host vibrant life. If you look closely, you'll see the swirl of a bottle's base still imprinted in the cement, a quiet homage to its past form. Back at the workshop table, the process unfolds. Bottles are cut, gloves are powdered with cement dust, and the rhythmic act of pouring becomes meditative. Each planter is shaped with intention and left to dry in the warm breath of day. This is not just a project, it's an act of reclamation, turning waste into wonder. And while the results may look polished, the beauty lies in their imperfections. If you feel inspired, know that these ideas are meant to be replicated. I'm sharing this not as a perfect guide, but as a gentle nudge toward creativity. These are real, simple things you can try at home. Fish Scene 2. Fish, leaves, and nature's impression in cement. Beneath a weathered shed roof, time moves slowly. 3 old buckets sit on a stained workbench, each holding a memory of yesterday's cement mix. In the center, a whimsical mold, shaped like a fish, waits to come to life. Nearby, rows of fish-shaped ornaments rest on layers of newspaper, drying under open daylight. Their forms are slightly uneven, textured, and alive with handmade energy. It's quiet work, but meaningful. When finished, these shapes are not hidden away. They become the language of the garden. On a rustic wall, a collection grows. Fish, seashells, leaves, and even a tiny monkey-shaped plaque. Each piece has its own color: terracotta, stone gray, pale turquoise, and each carries a sense of touch, of presence. Imperfections are embraced here, for they remind us this wasn't made in a factory. It was shaped by hand, perhaps while the radio played or birds sang outside the workshop door. And then there is the garden path, playful and poetic. Large cement leaves laid gently across the grass, each one unique. They are stepping stones, yes, but also quiet companions for morning strolls or barefoot wanderings at dusk. They echo the real foliage that blooms nearby, bridging nature with craft. These decorative cement ideas aren't just about aesthetics. They're about slowing down, using what you have, and crafting a space with soul. I share these as thoughtful suggestions, not rigid instructions, hoping they spark your imagination. You can absolutely try them at home with patience and care. It's not about getting it perfect, but about finding joy in the process. Glowing cement planters, realistic DIY ideas to illuminate your night garden. There's something magical about the way a garden breathes at night. When the world outside slows down and the air becomes still, even the smallest glow can turn an ordinary patio into a place of quiet wonder. This is the story of how humble cement planters, paired with subtle LED lighting, can transform your backyard into an inviting evening sanctuary. A garden that comes alive after sunset. As twilight deepens and string lights begin to shimmer faintly in the background, 3 square cement planters glow from below. Their warm light softly outlines the silhouettes of ornamental grasses, lavender, and leafy greens. The surrounding gravel pathway catches the glow in scattered reflections, guiding your steps with a gentle, natural rhythm. No cinematic tricks. This is just how light and shadow play when given space to breathe. You don't need high-end lighting systems or expensive materials to bring this vision to life. The charm lies in its simplicity. A basic concrete form, paired with a small LED spotlight, ideally waterproof and warm-toned, is enough to illuminate your plants from below. The result? A garden that doesn't just sleep at night but whispers softly, inviting you to sit, to breathe, to stay a little longer. These ideas aren't theoretical. They are rooted in practical steps and realistic outcomes. I'm simply offering an idea that's doable, something you can replicate with time, intention, and a bit of joy in your hands. The DIY heart of the project. Let's step inside for a moment. Picture a wooden workbench scattered with tools, pliers, a glue gun, coils of wire, and a mound of cement dust. The lighting is soft, coming from a simple lamp, casting long shadows. On the table, a freshly cured cement planter stands upright, and in the hands of its maker, a waterproof LED strip is being carefully pressed along the rim. This is where creativity meets function. It's not polished or perfect, but it's real. A project like this isn't built in a rush. It's shaped by moments, measuring, adjusting, running the wire just right. The goal is not perfection but usefulness. And more importantly, the sense of satisfaction that comes from making something beautiful with your own 2 hands. For those curious to try, use a cement pot, either cast yourself or purchased, Install a flexible LED strip along the upper inner rim and power it with a low-voltage, outdoor-safe connection. The glow from the top creates a halo that uplifts the entire container, especially stunning on patios or garden corners. I'm not offering an exact formula, just a real, inspired moment captured in progress. You can take this idea and shape it into something that fits your own world. Designing nightscapes with character. Further along the garden, you'll find a quiet patio corner, cement pavers beneath your feet, a modest metal table, and 2 chairs waiting in the soft dark. Around them, square planters glow like low lanterns, their plants lit gently from within. Ferns stretch upward, casting dramatic yet tender shadows. Snake plants rise like sculptures, framed by warm light from beneath. This kind of scene doesn't demand big budgets or complicated installations. It's about choice, the placement of the planters, the direction of the light, the temperature of the glow. These little decisions create intimacy, and that intimacy is what transforms a space. You don't need to chase perfection here. The planters might have tiny bubbles in the concrete. The wiring may show at certain angles. But these aren't flaws, they're fingerprints. Evidence of something made honestly, thoughtfully, and with love. Again, let me be clear. This isn't a professional tutorial. It's a set of grounded, realistic ideas meant to spark your own creativity. If it inspires you to look at an old cement pot and imagine it glowing in your backyard, then the idea has already done its job. Final thoughts. Let the light be yours. In the end, it's not about cement or LEDs. It's about creating a space where you feel something. A sense of calm, a sense of ownership, a gentle pride that says, I made that, and it makes this place feel like home. Whether you replicate the look exactly or adapt it in your own way, remember that the beauty lies in your hands and in the light you choose to bring to your world. So try it. Experiment. Let your garden glow, not because it needs to impress anyone, but because it can reflect the quiet, beautiful light of your own imagination. If this video meant something to you, please know that subscribing means the world to me. You're not just supporting content, you're supporting a dream that keeps my family going. Thank you, truly. I'd also love to hear from you. What did you enjoy the most? Is there anything I could do better to keep inspiring or simply entertaining you? Your feedback helps this channel grow with heart and purpose. Let me know in the comments. I read every one.